This afternoon, with the crisis rocking the opposition People's National Party, the 83-year political organization is this hour reeling from a series of high-profile resignations which are being interpreted as an attack on the eighth-month leadership of Mark Golding. The party's chairman, its three vice presidents, and the president of its youth organization have all quit. The resignations have left the organization's upper ranks gutted ahead of its annual conference. Ricardo Brooks has the first of 4 reports on the turmoil gripping the PNP.
In what's being seen as a calculated assault on the leadership of Mark Golding, Philip Paulwell, Michael Phillips, Damian Crawford, and Wickham McNeil this morning resigned en bloc. Golding's chief lieutenant, the party's embattled General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell, says while he thanks the men for their service, any move to undermine the leadership of his political boss is futile.
The leadership of Mark Golding is not feeble. It cannot be shaken so easily. Mark Golding is solid in and of himself, in his contribution, in his output that he has to make. His contribution, his support base is solid, and he will continue to do the work. He's on the road, he's interacting with the comrades. Some of them say it's unprecedented in seeing a leader on the road at this time, the number of conferences that he's speaking at. He's solidifying himself as leader of the party, and he's willing to work with any comrade who wants to make a contribution to the development of this country.
The former VPs and party chairman have accused the leadership of the PNP of being insincere in their commitment to unity. But Dr. Campbell is rejecting the assertions.
That is not true. The unity of the party, the mere fact that there was a discussion says for a logical mind that persons wanted unity within the party. Those discussions brought down what would have been the appropriate thing is for us to have discussions around the breakdown and see if we can come to a consensus. The leader of the party has not been involved in those negotiations. Neither myself, because in the case if there was going to be an election, I would have to oversee it. I could not have been involved in those discussions. The leader was not involved because last year, when he endorsed me as Jensek and Angela as chairman, they said that was inappropriate.
Nationwide news sources say the men resigned after it became clear they did not have the delegate math to mount a successful challenge to Golding's leadership. It's said that at least 2 of the men who resigned seriously considered a bid to be party president. Dr. Campbell says the resignation of the men now clears the way for an uncontested election for the vice presidential slots. Another Golding loyalist has joined Norman Scott, Eugene Kelly, and Ian Hales on the ticket.
Yes, we do. We have a 4th nomination for the post of vice president. So we have 1 nomination for president and 4 for vice president of the party.
Could you confirm the 4 of you, please?
Comrade Ian Hales, Comrade Norman Scott, Comrade Eugene Kelly, and Comrade Richard Azan.
Richard Azan is the Member of Parliament for Northwest Clarendon. He was a key ally of Golding in last November's leadership contest against Lisa Hanna. This means the PNP's elected top brass will now exclusively be comprised of Golding loyalists. It's unclear whether the defeated faction of the opposition party will be prepared to go with Golding anytime soon. Ricardo Brooks, Nationwide News.
In the meantime, the crisis rocking the senior ranks of the PNP is also threatening to engulf its youth arm. This afternoon, President of the PNP-YO and caretaker for West Rural St. Andrew, Crystal Tomlinson, resigned. It's understood that senior members of the YO are being accused of facilitating the creation of paper groups within the organization. A motion of no confidence was last night passed against the YO's General Secretary, Andrew Brown. Wayne Walker has that angle.
Crystal Tomlinson says the foundation of the PNP-YO is being shaken and its hard work compromised. She says she could not continue to serve where there's what she describes as a wavering commitment to integrity. Ms. Tomlinson goes on to allege that parish and regional chairmen in the YO are engineering and facilitating fraudulent behavior. The former PNP-YO president says she had the distinct displeasure of presiding over a motion of no confidence against the YO's General Secretary. Tomlinson confirmed with our news center that her resignation follows the vote of no confidence against the group's General Secretary.
I can confirm that the motion was moved last evening, July 15, at our National Council meeting. The motion was carried 43 to 8.
She explained the situation that led to the motion against Mr. Brown.
The YO had received a letter from 5 of our 6 region chairpersons indicating that they had no confidence in the General Secretary and the Office of the Secretariat because of concerns related to groups that were registered improperly and the role that the General Secretary may have played in that. The party conducted an audit, confirmed that the groups that were of concern were in fact improperly and suspiciously registered. And it was on the basis of that information and the feeling of our 5 of 6 regional chairpersons that there was not sufficient confidence to continue with our General Secretary in the position, that the motion was tabled and subsequently moved.
Ms. Tomlinson's resignation letter says a cabal in the YO was seeking to undermine upcoming elections through the creation of fraudulent groups. The letter says the cabal in the youth organization was seeking to feed its rabid appetite of securing power by any means necessary. Ms. Tomlinson's letter says she has put much on the line in service of the YO. However, she says her integrity will not be one of those things. Tomlinson says she wishes the best for the YO.
My sincere desire, and as best as I can, I'm willing to support that thrust, is to see a team built on trust and a genuine commitment to driving change and mobilizing young people to be part of that change so that we can compel full national participation of youth in crafting the future that we want to step into. It has always been and remains my vision for the PNP-YO, and I will do nothing to undermine or interrupt those who are walking steadfastly towards that vision.
Wayne Walker, Nationwide News.
But in a swift response, Andre Brown says he remains General Secretary of the PNP-YO.
Because there are a number of things happening in the party. We are trying as best as possible to deal with these matters internally. As it relates to me being General Secretary of the PNP-YO, I am the General Secretary of the PNP-YO.
You remain the General Secretary?
I am the General Secretary of the PNP-YO.
Okay. Did a motion of no confidence pass against you last evening?
I can't comment to that. I was not a part of any meeting as such.
Mr. Brown refused to be drawn on the motion of no confidence which was passed against him.
I can't comment to that. I was not a part of any meeting as such.
Okay. Are you aware of allegations that 5 of the 6 regional chairmen of the YO sent in a motion suggesting that you may have been involved in the creation of fraudulent groups?
Those matters have been put before the party. The party conducted an audit, and those allegations proven to be untrue. Well, I'd ask you to contact Paul Burke, who led the audit, or General Secretary Dayton Campbell, who was also part of the process.
When contacted, former PNP General Secretary Paul Burke declined to comment on the findings of his audit. The party's General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, was similarly tight-lipped about the allegations swirling around the youth organization. Can you confirm that an audit ordered by the party found that the PNP-YO was creating paper groups?
I do not discuss internal party business with the public.
But can you confirm that an audit was ordered?
I do not discuss internal party business in public.
Dr. Dayton Campbell, PNP General Secretary.